Hi everyone. So we are on the road still traveling. We're talking a little bit quieter than usual because we're actually in an airport in a restaurant.
We are.
So we want to show you that you can do this anywhere, anyhow, which is actually part of the program in the books. Is there's a whole holiday section and there's a travel section, what to do in restaurants,
I can't
airports.
Eat healthy
right.
because I travel.
And what do you do when
it's
you
like,
travel?
Well, we travel,
right.
and I have a salmon, kale,
so let me just show you.
salad.
This is Daniel's. Sorry, we've got two of these going. You showed them yours. Daniel's salad.
Oh.
And this is my salad. We have kale salads with chicken and nuts. And it actually came with candied walnuts, and we asked them to bring regular walnuts, and 9 times out of 10 they will. But
so just ask for what you want,
right.
and almost always they will try to accommodate you,
right.
because they love you. Well, they love your money, which is okay, right? So ask for what you want. You only want to be in love with food that serves your health, that loves you back. 7 foods to reverse illness and aging. So let's first talk about what are the foods that promote.
Share yours on my.
So you definitely want to read Brain Warrior's Way, because as you know, as a vet, you're in a war. And the war just doesn't stop when you come home. And it's about food, it's about the negative thoughts.
And I was so proud of you at the Pentagon. So we're fighting this war, believe me. We know
so
you're our
this
heroes.
program is absolutely for anybody who's had TBI, anybody who has emotional trauma. We are going to show you these are the habits that you can engage in every day. So we need to talk about
7
7
foods. First one.
But what are the ones that hurt them?
Sugar.
Sugar.
And foods that quickly turn to sugar, so high glycemic foods.
And when they came to this restaurant, first thing was they wanted to give us alcohol and bread.
Right.
And
if it's less than, and the serving size is usually much smaller than you would normally eat, so 1/2 gram per serving of trans fat, and they can actually not label it, and it is still okay to put it in. But a lot of times it's like 5 servings, so that's 2.5 grams of trans fat they can still legally put in your food, and trans fat doesn't leave your cells, so it's particularly damaging.
So we have a question from a veteran who says he's disabled on a fixed income. How can this help? Well, you can go to the library and get Brain Warrior's Way, or you can order it online. It's $20.60, and then you get all of these things.
Whole section on budgeting.
Also, I would get Change Your Brain, Change Your Life as well, which you can get in most libraries. It will help you just so much. Do this. Develop the mindset of a warrior. Other foods that hurt them?
Well, you talked about alcohol already because it shrinks your brain.
It is not a health food. Marijuana is not going green. I have a new study in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease that every area of the brain we measured in marijuana smokers was lower than in healthy. Probably
so
gonna
there
get
was
some
something
thumbs
very,
down.
I know, but there was
something
something very tragic. I want to actually, because I spent the day today somewhere that I don't love, but it was basically juvenile court, and it was for a CPS case, and it was very sad. There was a case that was there with 2 parents who were very, very young, and you know, we're up in Oregon, and Oregon has pot is legal, and well, now it's legal in California too. But anyways, you know, and the judge basically, this couple was spending $150 a week on marijuana and not able to care for their child. And so the child ended up in the hospital, and the judge basically let them know, look, just because something is legal doesn't mean you can't become addicted to it.
And if mean it's good
well,
for you.
and if you're addicted to it, you have the responsibility to be able to maintain it, manage it, and take care of your children. And if you can't do that, it doesn't make it okay.
Okay,
so,
back to food. Well, you know, people are eating marijuana like food, and it bothers me to no end, because the Girl Scouts, remember Girl Scouts?
But they're brilliant business people.
Outside of a pot dispensary
Smartest thing I've
in
ever
San
seen.
Francisco, they had Girl Scout cookies, and you know, she sold more like 200 boxes in 2 hours.
But she's one of the smartest Girl Scouts I've ever seen.
Inside there was Girl Scout peanut butter cookies
right.
with pot in them. This is the war I'm talking about in the Brain Warriors
It's
Way.
pretty funny though.
All right, 7 foods to reverse
I forgot
illness
where we're
and
at now.
aging.
What's the next one?
7 foods to reverse illness and aging.
okay.
So I have salmon on my plate. That's one. You want it to be wild salmon because omega-3 fatty acids.
What we're talking about is healthy fat.
just amazing, awesome for your brain. The other thing I have is tea.
Green tea
And
especially.
Green tea is one of the secret weapons for a healthy brain because it boosts dopamine availability. Actually, people who drink green tea have
younger DNA.
Longer
Yeah.
telomeres, which means younger DNA, just like
So,
you
and
said.
touching on green tea, you also want to make sure that you're hydrated, because just being hydrated actually increases your physical power by 19% and also improves your cognitive functioning in multiple
decreases
studies.
your wrinkles.
So in multiple studies. So
Rank up.
we basically said healthy fat, so not the kind of trans fat we talked about, but salmon, avocados, nuts, seeds. Now,
somebody
they
else is
actually said,
asking if
wait,
we
our
have a
salad came
program.
with candied walnuts. That doesn't count, okay? So we asked for them to bring us regular walnuts. And then, so we've got, what did we say? We said now, hydration,
So
green tea,
walnuts.
Healthy fat,
Protein.
okay.
At every meal, fat and protein at every meal because it helps to balance your blood sugar. We're talking
Yeah. And
to,
it
to
balances
one of
your-
our friends today, someone we love a lot, who's had addiction problems. And we taught her, halt, don't get too hungry, too angry, too lonely, or too tired, because they are what puts you at risk for relapse. And so eating, small meals, but, with foods that love you back.
So even if
And
you're
also-
a vegan, you want to make sure you're getting protein. Just make sure you're getting a vegan source. Maybe plant-based protein powders, some organic tofu. But the reason why is because protein is particularly special. It actually not only balances your blood sugar, it balances the hormones of metabolism. So it's one of the few foods, along with some healthy fat, that sends the signal to your brain that you're hungry, that you're not hungry, that you've eaten and you're satisfied. Whereas sugar and simple carbs actually tell your brain, even though you've eaten, you're still hungry. Like your belt will get tight, but you still feel hungry.
Right.
So that's why that's a big difference.
I remember when I used to love Rocky Road before I realized it didn't love me back. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have one bowl. But halfway through the first bowl, I'm thinking about the second bowl. Anybody like me?
And you don't need a lot of protein with each meal. You need to think of it like medicine, small doses, right? So,
Right.
yeah.
Colorful vegetables and fruits.
Smart carbs.
So
Smart
put
carbs.
lots of color, natural, not Skittles, not M&Ms, but foods, real food that has many different colors, because that means it's loaded with antioxidants.
So wait, we just got done telling them no, sugar foods will quickly turn to sugar, which basically a lot of people are saying are carbs. Basically, we're not saying carbs are the enemy. We're saying the wrong carbs are the enemy. So we want you focusing on smart carbs.
Smart carbs.
So smoothies in the morning that have protein and some colorful
But
vegetables.
a lot of people, when they have smoothies, they pour in orange juice.
But we're going to change that. We're changing that.
And or they pour in milk.
So I have a whole bunch of
I'm
recipes,
thinking
whole bunch of yummy recipes.
water is awesome. Or what we often do is unsweetened almond milk. And in Tana's new cookbook, she has this cappuccino
Yeah, I'm gonna
recipe that is just amazing. Hang on, because I'm hungry too.
I know, but I'm going to munch while we're talking.
But spices. Just incredible.
should be kept in your medicine cabinet.
And the new research on saffron is spectacular. That it helps to break up some of the plaques thought to be responsible for Alzheimer's disease. Vitamin D does that too. Omega-3 fatty acids. But spices, saffron,
And spices?
Sage has A-level scientific evidence for memory. Curcumin, not cumin. Don't like curcumin.
No, it's still
Probably
good for you.
good
He just
for you,
doesn't
but
like it.
my taste
Don't give
buds
them your
don't.
personal bias. No, but it's also a really good way. Not all spices are just pungent or savory. Spices are a great way to get your kids on board, because you can use spices, even things like cinnamon, vanilla,
No,
nutmeg.
we are not eating wine. I'm watching this going
Wine.
through. They go, what are you eating? Wine? This
Green
is
tea.
green tea. And salmon, kale, apple, walnut salad.
So
Perfect.
So back to spices.
We have to say bye.
Spices and kids. Not yet. Spices and kids. You can actually get your kids on board by adding things like cinnamon, nutmeg, vanilla, cacao. So loaded with antioxidants. And a lot of times kids won't eat greens, but they'll eat that. So they'll actually eat those types of spices, and it really will boost their antioxidant
All
level.
right, you have an awesome night. Love you.
BrainWarriorsWay.com